Newsmax is also losing it over rumors that Achilles will be portrayed by actor Elliot Page.
The most famous warrior in history, not just Greek history, all of history, Achilles, is about to be played by a transgender woman in a brand new movie. That's the person that's going to be playing the greatest warrior in history, because to the left, that is normal. That's okay. And to top it all off, playing Helen of Troy, whose beauty was unparalleled, a woman who was definitely white, is going to be played by Lupita Nyong'o. And I've got nothing against Lupita, but I do have a problem with the complete rewriting of history.
My question is, why is this upsetting? Why don't you just not go to the movie?
Well, I actually, am I freaking out over this? I'm not freaking out. I actually probably will see the movie. Not in theaters. If they actually go through with this, and this is the casting, I'm going to see this movie. My monologue on Tuesday about this new Odyssey movie casting has gone viral. Apparently, I'm racist now for pointing out that maybe you shouldn't cast a girl who's 5'1", like 118 pounds, to play the role of the most famous warrior in history, mythological history or not. It doesn't matter. Okay, everyone had to read this book, The Odyssey. This is not a good picture or a good likeness. I don't know why we're comparing these two. So Helen of Troy is going to be, that is a historical picture of Helen of Troy. We couldn't find a better picture, but Helen of Troy, the face that launched the Trojan War, 1,000 ships were launched because of Helen of Troy. So the role of Helen of Troy, a white woman, is going to be played by Lupita Nyong'o, a black woman. I just think this is very bizarre. Would you cast a white woman to play like Rosa Parks in a movie? I don't think you would, but if you did, do you think that Whoopi would be fine with that? I don't think she would either. I don't want to speak for Whoopi. But Achilles is like the most famous warrior, mythological warrior in history, not just Greek history, all of history. And to play that role, Christopher Nolan cast Elliot Page, formerly known as Ellen Page, a biological woman. And now 60 Minutes got wind of all this, and they are doing damage control for Christopher Nolan and his casting choices.
I feel a real responsibility to try and get as much on screen for the audience as possible.
Action! Christopher Nolan is one of the great directors of our time. Oppenheimer, Dunkirk, Interstellar, and next, The Odyssey.
I can't with this stuff. Jack Posobiec is a contributor at Turning Point USA. He's a heck of a guy. He's a former Navy intel officer. Katie Zacharia, former spokesperson and deputy assistant at the Department of Homeland Security. It is great to have you both on. Look, they want me to capitulate, Jack, which I am not going to do. Elon Musk has been tweeting about this all week long. He just said Christopher Nolan is pissing on Homer's grave. It's disgraceful. Am I wrong to think that casting a 5'1" biological female might be a strange casting decision for the role of Achilles?
No, Rob, you said nothing wrong whatsoever. It's very clear what we're seeing going on here. This is cultural vandalism, is what they're doing, historical vandalism. They will go in and they will tear down every single one of our stories. They'll go to, I can't wait to see what they do to Hercules next, by the way, and, all the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm hearing Danny DeVito for Hercules.
Yeah, Danny DeVito playing Hercules, exactly. Or the guy from Willow.
Right.
They constantly want to do this because it's all about tearing down heroes. They don't want people to have it. Go look at Luke Skywalker, calling for the death of President Trump, or the latest Star Wars star is kissing Stephen Colbert on the mouth. It's how does this sell movies for tickets for a Star Wars movie? Again, it's all about the cultural vandalism. And I'm hoping that we're seeing the last gasps of wokeness, but unfortunately, it seems to be continuing, which is why they're going after you.
Katie, there were articles written all week about me. This racist Newsmax anchor. Look, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna bow. Okay, it's not Joe Biden's not president. It's not 2020. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm sorry for calling this out. Katie, you could be Helen of Troy. We did this with my producers a minute ago. How about Will Ferrell playing Martin Luther King in a biopic? Or how about Will Ferrell in Roots? How about Tom Hanks as Malcolm X? How about Tom Cruise as Frederick Douglass? What if Benedict Cumberbatch was in Selma? Or Ryan Gosling in 12 Years a Slave? Do you think the other side might be a little upset by that, Katie?
Rob, we're completely on the same page. I had Rosa Parks, Sandra Bullock casting as Rosa Parks, Chris Hemsworth as Nelson Mandela.
With Keanu Reeves?
The outrage.
Get off the bus.
Sorry? Yes,
with Keanu Reeves, right? From
the
Speed,
outrage
Jackie
that would be... Yeah, the outrage that would be ensuing from the left, from The View, would be just astronomical if they even thought of casting these characters. But instead, we're all told we got to get in line and we got to take our place, right? Like that they can completely do the subliminal messaging, and we're supposed to be okay with it. And Rob, to your point, actually, you didn't capitulate in 2020. You were one of the very many outspoken against Joe Biden, and you're continuing to be, and you shouldn't apologize, because this is what they want us to do. They want us to be silent, and they want to quietly rewrite history and tell us all that a biological female is Achilles, and we're all supposed to accept it. No, we don't accept it. And what will speak most is the fact that nobody's going to go see this woke movie, and it's going to be a box office bust, and they're going to make zero money on it.
I might see it. I think I have to see it at this point. Just quickly, so Jack, Helena Troy. Helena Troy's white, right? It's not like negotiable. She's Mediterranean,
obviously.
Greek, white. They cast Lupita Nyong'o, and everyone's like, well, that's racist if you think that. Is that why would you do this? You're miscasting the role. By the way, we've got to get rid of this picture of Helen of Troy. I don't know who. That's Helen of something. That's not Helen of Troy right there. I don't know if you can see the photo we're using.
And these are historical depictions that go back thousands of years, by the way. But again, it's the same thing they did with Snow White, which is a story that's hundreds of years old. It's all about the cultural vandalism. It's about making you feel like your history or your stories, your ancient, stories are something that should be lessened, should be cheapened, should be changed, et cetera, et cetera. Me personally, I don't know, because I know over on the Marvel side, they have the multi-universe now. So I'm just waiting very patiently for the new Black Panther, played, of course, by Rob Finnerty.
Sorry, I ruined your Black Panther party. Yeah, I think Keanu Reeves on the bus, right? There's a bomb on your bus. I don't like what they're trying to normalize all of this and force us into the normalization. I just want you to envision this. Achilles is a warrior. Elliot Page is 5'1". Like in the warrior gear, like this is a biological woman. This is just, it's going to be so weird, quite frankly. And I don't know why 60 Minutes would run cover for Christopher Nolan, but I'll be watching Sunday night. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Jack Posobiec, Katie Zacharia, we appreciate it.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.